Blimey. That's effortless. Look how easy that's coming off. It's literally just falling off the bike. For anybody who's ever considered painting a bike, or actually painted a bike, knows that the worst part of that whole process is sanding it back down to bare metal. Yes, you can go to sandblasters, yes, you can do all these amazing things to get someone else to do it, but if you want to do it yourself, it's hard work. Well, I think I found the best solution for doing it yourself in your back garden or in your shed or your garage or wherever you do your biking things. And I'm going to tell you about it in this video. But first, the bike in question. This is my Kona Minute. If you don't know this bike yet, or if you're not a subscriber to the channel, do check out this video that's linked here, or maybe it's linked here. It's linked down below on the screen. It's linked somewhere. Just give it a click and have a watch of that one first. But I showed you guys this bike a couple of videos back, and a lot of you have been asking where it is. Well, I had a little holiday, I did a few other projects, and I just haven't quite finished it yet. But I have stripped the bike down and then stripped the paint, which is what this video is about. I've painted quite a few bikes now, and every single time I've done it, I've dreaded that moment of actually sanding down the paint. So, like all good Instagrammers and YouTubers, I asked my community. I said, what do you guys use? And loads and loads and loads of you came up with some really good ideas. A lot of them I've tried before. Some of you just said, just get on with it and use your muscles. My muscles are mainly in my legs. I ride bikes. So that wasn't the greatest option. But one of you did come through with a great suggestion, which is Felix, or the Bike Felix. I don't know if it's actually your name, Felix, so sorry about that, but I'll link his account here. It's a nice account, another East London bike dude, building bikes and doing awesome things. But his suggestion was PillTech. I've never heard of PillTech before. I've seen a few spray paint removers in the past and wasn't quite sure about them, so I never really took a punt. I've always used the liquid spray, like liquid stuff to kind of, you know, pull it off. So I thought I'd give it a go. But before we go into that part of the video, let's check out the bike and strip it down. Have a little montage, shall we? And that was that. That was pretty straightforward. No real major issues with anything. The BB was a little bit stiff to get out, but I could do it with a normal ratchet, so no big deals. So next is the next step, I guess, which would be the PillTech. Now, I'm not going to make you watch me do every single bit of this because it's still painful to watch someone strip a bike. But first things first was checking out the peel tech. So I sprayed it onto the actual bike itself and left it says around 10 minutes. I left it probably about 5 because I'm impatient and I was excited to see what it would do. And I then started scraping away with, well, a big pink dork disc that I had knocking about that I keep putting on bikes, and then I decided I want to put on bikes, and then it just sits in the shed, so it's now for scraping things. One thing I did realise, and that I learned way too late, was the fact that the day I was doing this, it was I think it was like 28 degrees. It was quite hot for London, at least anyway. But the actual peel tech, that I was spraying on the bike, essentially was drying in the sun and wasn't doing the best job. As you can see from the first clip of this video and the clip that I'm going to show you again now, when I sprayed it onto the fork, I sprayed that probably just a good coating all over the whole fork. It had the green paint over the top of it as well, and then left it in the shade for about an hour, and I came out and then I could literally just blow the paint off. So that is the number one tip with this stuff. Don't do what I did, which was essentially do it in a big open space in the sun and spray it like that. You definitely want to kind of get it coated and then keep it wet for as long as you possibly can for that stuff to do its job. If it's drying off in the sun, then it's going to be naff, it ain't going to really work that well. So the one thing I did decide about halfway through doing this, when it did become such a problem with the peel tech not doing quite as well as I really thought it was going to do, was to only do half the bike. I think I mentioned, actually I know I mentioned in the last video about the fact that I'm thinking about doing part of the frame polished aluminium. So the front half of the frame will be polished and then the back end won't be, it's going to be painted. So I wasn't as fussed about the condition of the aluminium once I finished. So I busted out the sander and used that to get a lot of that off. The very last bit I did that I feel like is a pretty solid tip. I actually kind of got this from a friend of mine, Babylon Bikes, or Marlon. This is his account here. He's another London bike dude. He makes a lot of amazing custom bikes, but he, some time ago now, used a blowtorch to basically remove the paint from a chromoly steel frame, and it kind of, the way the paint just kind of like fell off. It took a lot of work, but like it just fell off. So I wondered what if I used a bit of that to kind of get round the kind of the bosses and the bits that hold the cables, cable mounts. You know what I'm trying to say. These things. So essentially I just got the fire right in there, torched round where all the paint was, where I couldn't kind of get to, and then as soon as it went black, you could then use a wire brush or a bit of wire wool to then just kind of brush it all off, and it came off pretty well. It has left some marks on the aluminium there, so I'm going to have to kind of work hard to get that kind of nice and polished again, but it is also on the underside of the frame as well, so I'm not too fussed. I'm sure it'll be fine. And that's as far as I've actually got so far. I do need to now go around the chrome part of the frame, so the front end, and fix up some of the scratches. The actual peel tech is amazing if you want to preserve the metal underneath. Most of the bits that actually worked well have left a basically shiny bit of aluminium, which with a little bit of polish, a little bit of rubbing, I was going to say, you know what I'm trying to get at, it would probably look perfectly good and nice and shiny, it'd be wicked. But there are some bits where I kind of went a little bit too heavy on the wire brushes to get those little bits around the cable guides and stuff like that, that will need a little bit of work. But it's almost there. The next video on this bike, I promise, will be paint. But I did say in the last video that I was going to ask you guys what you thought and kind of give you a couple of ideas, and you all came back with some pretty good ones. The ones that I'm actually going to go with, and I haven't 100% decided exactly yet, so you've still got a chance to help me out of this, but it is going with some fluoro paint. There was at least 2, maybe 3 comments that said about the fact that because I want to be using this with my family and with my kids on the bike, something that's bright and very easily seen is going to be a brilliant idea, and I couldn't get it out of my head as soon as I saw it. As far as the paint I'm going to use, I'm actually going to try these guys out. This is Full Dip. It's essentially a liquid vinyl. It's designed to spray on cars that you want to change your colour of your car without actually having to peel the paint off and stuff like that. I've wanted to try this for ages. I've bought one of them when they were on sale somewhere, and they've just been sat there. But I do have a pink, a orange, and a kind of day glow yellow type deal. So these are the kind of options we have. I have some ideas with maybe just a couple of these 2 together, or maybe these 2 together, and then maybe these. I don't know yet. But this stuff is meant to be really good, really, really bright, really, really durable, which is why I want to use it on this. But a very cool thing, which we'll test out in the next video, is you can spray it onto a perfectly good bike frame and then peel it off afterwards if you then change your mind. So it's a very cool customization thing. So we're going to talk about that in the next video. The other thing is spray.bike. So I did pick up some of the frame builders smoothing putty. This is the stuff that essentially it's an etch primer, goes on really thick, you then sand it down to make it smooth. This will be for the rear end, the cargo end, where I've kind of gone to town with the sander and it needs a little bit of love now to make it smooth. So that's what that's for. I've also then got some, I decided to go for some gloss, satin gloss. It's shiny lacquer, and this is the bit that I'm kind of like, what do you think I should do with it? Some of the metal flake that spray.bike do, the cream. I'll learn how to read that for the next video. So yeah, I'm still open to ideas. If you've got any ideas about the colours that I use on this bike and the kind of the way I'm going, I'm thinking maybe just doing like a really bright fork, some polished, and then really bright rear end. But do I then add some kind of like paint techniques in there? Do I do some kind of colour change and fades? And I don't know. This is the bit I haven't decided on yet. So get in the comments below, let me know what you think you would do. And also if you've got any other tips on when it comes to stripping bikes cheaply on your own at home without having to get someone else to do it for you, we want to hear that down below as well. And I think that's about it. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more content like this, it's probably worth subscribing to the channel. You've been here long enough now, so you might as well hit that button. And if you want to see another build video, let's do a paint one this week. I'll put a paint video just up there so you can kind of get an idea of what I'm capable of doing. That sounded weird. You know what I'm getting at. And I'll see you next week.